Jonathan Larson's Rent premiered at the New York Theater Workshop on January 26, 1996. The modern rock opera take on Puccini's La Boheme instantly captivated critics and audiences alike, bringing much-needed attention to the devastating AIDS crisis, inner-city class warfare, drug addiction, and featuring bold and unabashed queer characters and storylines. While Larson tragically died the night before the show debuted, his masterpiece would go on to run on Broadway for 12 years, win the Pulitzer Prize for Drama and the Tony Award for Best Musical, gross hundreds of millions of dollars, and create a whole new crop of Broadway stars out of much of its original cast. This year marks the 30th anniversary of the groundbreaking show, so join the great pop culture debate as we attempt to name the best song from Rent. Like Mark Cohen, I also struggle with the ability to hold an erection on the high holy days, and I'm not even Jewish. I'm your host, Eric Resniak. Please welcome my panelists for this episode. With them, A Wild Night is now preordained. Here comes our first panelist. Welcome. And you are?
Oh, I'm not. I'm just here too. I'm here with Bob. I'm Bob Erlenbach. Well, this is quite a funny broadcast.
Sit down, Bob. We'll continue with our podcast. Our next panelist actually would like you to piss on his stoop every night. It's Curtis Creekmore.
No kink-shaming, Eric. Boheme is not dead quite yet.
Wine and beer. And finally, I told her not to call me, but that's Joelle Bodecker. Say something. Anything.
Test 1, 2, 3.
Anything but that.
This is weird, Eric. Fucking weird.
Fucking weird. If you're curious about how we ended up with our bracket, become a Patreon supporter of our little show, or listen to the 3-minute preview available wherever you listen to podcasts. And with that out of the way, Christmas bells are ringing. So let's get into these debates. First up, the panel has unanimously decided to move forward 1-seed La Vie Boheme, which meant that 4-seed Will I will not be moving forward in this bracket. But I do want to at least talk about Will I briefly before it goes out. Joelle, take it away.
Sure, yeah. This song, one of the most emotional songs in the show, and there's a few, but anything that involves the the support group will definitely just cut you right in the heart, I think. The lyric from "Will I lose my dignity" is a haunting concept that anyone dying literally has had that thought, I'm sure. So there's so many lyrics. I wrote down, "Will I wake tomorrow from this nightmare?" These are terrifying thoughts, and to hear someone sing them so beautifully, it sticks with you, and you bring it with you wherever you go in life. But is it the best song in the show, and does it compete at all with La Vie Boheme? Probably not. So
I have 2 words for you, mucho masturbation. But that being said, we are moving La Vie Boheme into round 2. Next, most of the panel wants to wail at the moon like a cat in heat with 2-seed out tonight, but Joelle sees it tomorrow in our bracket for 3-seed Today for You. Joelle, tell us why Today for You should not be consigned to doggy hell. Curtis, what's the time? It's time for you to defend out tonight. Joelle, please go first.
my Akita, Avita, has something to say, and that is we can't let her death be in vain.
It is ouch.
Yes. Ouch. No, this song is, I love a storytelling song. One of my criteria in the bracket is is this telling a story? Is there exposition? And so many of these songs are full exposition, and this is just one of them. And it's told in such a delightfully just sassy ass way. There's something unrelatable about letting an animal die to make $1,000, and yet when you are that desperate and you are that creative, honestly, what am I going to say? It's a barking dog, and I don't live there. I don't live your life. Everything about that one. We'll talk about all the different storytelling songs in the show, but everything about Today for You. It's a beautiful introduction to Angel. This is the third time we hear from Angel, but it's the first time everyone meets Angel all together, and you just want to hear more. You want to hear every little shenanigan they're gonna get into with Angel, and yeah, how dark can it get? I don't know, but yeah, a dog jumping into a courtyard from a high window.
I just think it's had there been anything on Broadway at that time that was a dance song that was also a rap? I honestly don't know. One of the things I was thinking about working on this was we say that Hamilton changed the way that Broadway sounded, and it did. And I feel like Rent did that like 20 years before. And I'm
Yep.
not knocking Hamilton at all. But like, I do think there is something to be said for like, this was a very bold, different sound for Broadway. Also, to your point, like everybody loves Angel, not in the show and the viewers. And her introduction to most of them is dog murder, but also getting paid to trim someone's tree. That's entrepreneurship, ladies
Yeah.
and gentlemen, right?
And
That's
and what do you have? What do you have without entrepreneurship in the 90s in New York City?
nothing. You have nothing. But Curtis, you wanted to talk about Out Tonight.
Well, I would say first, Rent walked so In the Heights could run so that Hamilton could fly, honestly.
Yep.
But I think this is a really interesting matchup because it's two character introductory songs. Today for You gets us into a frenetic, engaging world of Angel, and Out Tonight takes us into a dark and desperate world of Mimi Marquez, occasionally clad in bubble wrap. Don't take my vote as displeasure. I like Today for You. It's a kicky romp, and who doesn't love that? But if sex were a song, it would be Out Tonight. It doesn't just establish Mimi's desperation for freedom. It's written in a way that you actually feel it. The driving beat, the whip-like bass line, and her literal howls provide a thrilling, desperate hedonism that must be sated one way or another. And I think it paints the perfect picture of Mimi, reckless, alive, and completely unstoppable for at least a couple minutes. Out Tonight is about power and action. It is a defining musical moment that makes Mimi a force. She's not just a supporting character. It's the kind of song that makes you want to follow someone, even if it's a bad idea. It gives you this glorious, fleeting feeling of pure life. And considering what is to come, I think that's why it lands so much harder.
You had me at desperate hedonism. Bob, are you sticking with Out Tonight?
Honestly, Curtis couldn't have said that really any better. I don't know if this song was written for Daphne Rubin Vega, but my God, what a perfect pairing of the performer to the song when we talk about the original cast recording. It is such synergy and so incredible, and she's so incredible in this. And that is the moment when I was watching Rent, seeing that she comes out, everything stops, the crowd cheers. I didn't know why we were cheering, but I watched that and I thought to myself, oh, that's what this fucking show is going to be. Like, that's what this show can do and will do to me today. Like, awesome. Like, I'm here. Let's go. I love Out Tonight.
Yeah. We did not have the gay finger wag of approval in 1996, but if we did, that would have been it from the audience. That's like, yes, bitch, work. All right. So with that being said, Out Tonight, we'll move into the round two, but I also love Today for You. Next, 75% of the panel do, in fact, want to pay one seed Rent, but Bob seeks salvation for four seed One Song Glory. Bob, tell us why Roger's Lament still moves you. I will explain that because if everything is Rent, then Rent is everything. I'll go ahead and go first. So, yes, there are a few little intro bits to the show. You have the tune-ups, you have the first voicemail. Rent is the opening number for the show, and as such, it has to set a tone and really expectations for what this show is. Rent the song does an amazing job of that. Quote, how do you document real life when real life's getting more like fiction each day? Headlines, breadlines blow my mind, and now this deadline, eviction or pay. If you are one of the dismissive cultural critics who claim that this show has nothing important to say post-1990s, I invite you to take several seats. That line, the very first line of the very first real song of this show, slaps you right in the face. This is a song and a show about young creatives trying desperately to exist in a world defined by money, class, and status. Look around you. It's arguably more relevant now than it was even 30 years ago. It's also a banger. It gets the adrenaline pumping. It's an anthem not only for a generation, but for anyone who realizes they're getting squeezed out of existence by a system they did not sign up to be part of. So that's my argument. Bob, talk to us about One Song Glory.
Yeah, I realize this is an uphill battle, but I really, kind of the opposite to Joelle, I'm not about the exposition songs as much as I am about the character songs. And I think that this is an ensemble. This is about characters. In this song, One Song Glory, where we get to meet Roger really fully and understand where he's coming from, understand what he's feeling, what his really is dealing with personally, and the regret, the his desire to just kind of go inside himself and not be part of, a community or part with other people, just kind of pulling away, right? And understanding his plight and understanding the disease that he has, right? Rent is like exposition, the song, right? Let's call it exposition. It is that. And I do agree with you that there are some lyrics in Rent that are incredible, but just I think lyrically and musically, One Song Glory hits a little bit better. I really struggle with rent, 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 rent. It's like we don't know what to put here, so we're just gonna say the name of the title.
How dare you?
Yeah.
How dare you?
It's totally what it reeks of, and I think that's a major knock. I just there are so many other bangers like this too in the show that are I believe are much better than this. I'm shocked that it was ranked so high when there are so many others that I think could be equally ranked high or higher than
It's
it.
the name of the show, Bob.
I know it's the title track, and I get that, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's the best Rent song. So I'm not going to go with rent, 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 rent. I'm going to go with One Song Glory, but I know that I'm losing.
Joelle, is it going to be Rent or One Song Glory for you?
Oh, it's still Rent. I can't with Roger songs. I really generally just can't.
Curtis, is it
Rent.
or
It's
One Song-
Rent.
It's
Rent.
Okay, so we are going to move Rent into round 2. Next, it's another unanimous decision by our panel in favor of 2-seed What You Own, which means that we will, in fact, be saying farewell to 3-seed Goodbye Love. Would anyone like to offer up a few parting words for the Roger Mimi breakup song? Bob, I think you wanted to say something.
Yeah, there's a lot of Roger and Mimi on this bracket. So I think that's really ultimately why I did not vote for it. But there is no wrong choice, I guess, on this bracket, right? These are all great songs, all 16 of them. It's just this one is just like how much Roger and Mimi. We can't have all Roger and Mimi to the final. And, I just think that this one just needed to go out because some of the others are just going to be stronger.
Yeah, I actually think it would have been a wrong choice to put What You Own out over this song. So I'm
Yes.
glad that we did not. And What You Own will make it into round 2. Next, it's another sweep by the panel, which has decided that 1-seed Take Me or Leave Me, like Maureen, is a diva that needs her stage, and it will continue to round 2. That means that 4-seed Santa Fe will be heading west in our bracket. I will speak briefly on Santa Fe before we say goodbye to it. I love this song. Actually, I like it more the older I get, and I like the more that I listen to it. Collins is so beautiful, and there is something about it. This is like, what if we just gave up this rat race and we just like threw it all away and just went someplace quiet and just settled down and lived a small little life. And I do think it's really interesting that later in the show, Roger tries that and is fucking miserable. So we'll be moving Take Me or Leave Me into round 2. Next, the panel is evenly split between 2-seed Tango Maureen and 3-seed Without You. Bob, move us with your plea for Without You. Curtis, put us through our paces as you teach us to love Tango Maureen. Curtis, please go first.
Have Bob go first.
Okay, Bob, please go first.
I don't have a ton to say. I kind of showed my hand before we started recording, and that I think I might be switching over to the Tango Maureen, but Without You to me is such a beautiful song. It's a Roger and a Mimi, another Roger and a Mimi, as I mentioned. I love the swell of this song. It starts so simple and soft, and just the swell throughout, and it just gets so big and just overwhelming by the end, that I just really love that musically. That so many of these songs in this show are so unique and different, and they may start as one song and end as a different song. There's so many different melodies and themes, and the music within it changes throughout. And I just really love Without You, and I don't love Tango Maureen as much as that, but I listened to it again today, and I thought to myself, you know what, this is a really good song. It's really well written. It's a great comedic moment for the show in a sea of not so comedic moments. It's our master of the house, our first master of the house of the show, so to speak. So I think it has value and really makes it unique and different. That's why I'm probably switching over. So maybe Curtis doesn't need to give an argument. But
Oh, I want to.
Oh, she wants
Okay.
to give it. Go for it, Curtis.
Well, it's so funny that you should say that you want to switch, Bob, because I'm also switching my vote.
What?
That's funny.
What?
I think I initially voted for Tango Maureen because it's the more iconic of the two songs. It's certainly the more well-known of the two, but I don't think that necessarily means that it's the better song. I am a sucker for sad, and Without You plucks the heartstrings in a way that few other songs in this show do for me. Without You is like a poem set to music. And I know that sounds silly since all songs could be considered poetry, but
It's in my
this one,
notes.
it doesn't even have a rhyme scheme, which is unique and makes the song even more meaningful. It's simple, cyclical music and alternating solo lines just kind of strip away everything, all the spectacle, and it's just really raw. It's an earnest list of love and loss. It is the moment of the whole show where everything just slows down and gets really real for the first time. It's not about desperation of Mimi or Roger's angst. It's about the terrifying vulnerability of actually needing another person and realizing that all the drugs and all the partying and the life that you were living were just a failed attempt to fill that hole.
Oh my God, is that what's going on in my life right now?
Filling holes.
Eric Resniak, this is your life. Sorry.
No, excellent. Joelle, I'm surprised a bright and charming girl like you hangs out with these slackers who don't adhere to brackets. That's what I have to say.
Right?
Right? But Joelle, where are you? Is it going to be without you or is it going to be Tango Marine?
I'm squarely with Tango Marine. I showed my hand in that my preference for not Roger songs is strong. If Without You was only Mimi, we'd be having a different conversation.
Oh, you really have it out for Roger.
I just, something about his cranky rock ballad crap. I don't know. Maybe I was okay in the 90s with it, but like, yeah, it's digging the wrong way now, and I can't put myself back in that mindset 30 years ago. Like, I really cannot listen to it.
I'm so glad this is a safe space to hate on Roger. I was afraid that I was going to get ganged up on
It's not a
today.
safe space. I didn't say that it was okay.
Hey, I create a small safe space for just me and Eric.
Perfect. I will live there with you.
But there's so much I could say positive about Tango Marine, and if it goes forward, I'll save these thoughts for that. But I guess let's see, because I will otherwise make a stronger case.
I'm voting for Tango Marine. And so even if I hadn't, it was the 2 seed. Tango Marine has really sharp writing. I agree it is a comedic moment and the show needs a lift every once in a while, and it provides that. It also, we talked about this in the warm-up, which if you're not a Patreon subscriber, you should become one for this episode. Really great warm-up, and we talk about the songs that didn't make the bracket. And Bob pointed out that they build up Maureen for like the whole first whatever of this show. You don't see her until like almost the end of Act 1. And you really understand that she is a like home-wrecking vagina and just an absolute disaster of a human being.
She is
And
the
boy, this show
messiest.
does this.
Yeah.
This song does it. They're like, she's a mess, but you're going to love her. And you know what? We do. We
Yeah.
love her. Yeah.
Somehow.
So we will be moving Tango Marine into round 2. Next, the bulk of the panel has 525,600 reasons to vote for 1 seed Seasons of Love, but Bob has at least one reason to vote against it, and that is his preference for 4 seed Another Day. Bob, no day but today. It's your moment to push through Another Day.
Yeah, I see you all. I see you all over there with your seasons of love.
I've already moved it forward on the
seasonings.
bracket, by the way. I just went ahead and clicked
It's
that
our
button.
seasonings of
Obviously,
love. We like seasonings, yeah.
Obviously, Seasons of Love. It is the most well-known song from this show. It's the most radio ready for sure. To me, its popularity and it has made it overused. Give me a junior high chorus that hasn't done this song. There is no narrative to this song. You could remove it from the show altogether, and it does not impede the progression of the show. It is a wonderful song to sing. I think it is overplayed. It's performed as the ensemble outside that narrative. Another Day, by contrast, it's deeply embedded in this story. It is that charged duet between Roger and Mimi, showcasing the emotional conflict that they have. Roger's fear of the isolation versus Mimi's desperate push to live life and keep moving. It's raw, it's immediate, it is character-driven, which is super important to me in my rubric for this debate, right? Most importantly, it's where we really hear that first true mantra of the show, that no day but today, right? It kind of is delivered not as that slogan, but really as that plea, that battle cry, that survival instinct that the show is striving for. The song grows from that intimate confrontation into that powerful ensemble moment that really connects the individual struggles to that larger human kind of truth or emotion, whatever. But I think Seasons of Love is obviously super popular, but I think that I'm trying to find the best Rent song, not the best song that happens to be in Rent. And I think that it doesn't serve the greater story of the show like the rest of these songs do, and particularly the one that we're have it up against. So that's just me.
Okay. Joelle, is it going to be Seasons of Love or Another Day for you?
It'll be Seasons of Love. I hear what you said, Bob. Like it is a juxtaposition in the middle of the show, but that's why they placed it exactly where they placed it. The welcome you back from a intermission, and it brings you right back into the world that we are in. We are in a world where all of these people need each other, and they're going to figure out how they need each other. And the central point of the story is that love will get you through, and that's Angel's whole thing. And it's what you're supposed to take away from it. And so, yeah, the song is a little bit on the nose and a little not expository or emotional in that way, but it's damn fucking good.
Curtis, Seasons of Love or Another Day?
Seasons of Love. And I'll tell you more later.
Great. Yeah, I'm also giving just Seasons of Love.
I
Great
look
job.
forward to hearing it.
Another Day is another great song.
It is.
It's a tough bracket, but I can't take out Seasons of Love. I mean, I need a slow clap. That's what I need. All right. Finally, in round one, 3/4 of the panel wants to give 1,000 sweet kisses to 2-seed I'll Cover You, while Joelle prefers the hotter duet of 3-seed Light My Candle. Joelle, tell us why you still hold a flame for Candle.
Bah humbug. That's why. Yeah.
That's the whole
no,
reason.
So all of the shitting on Mimi and Roger, I love this one. I love it because it first of all, like a huge chunk of this really harkens back to the original opera that it's based on,
Yes.
when she drops her key, like looking for her stash is their modern key apparently. Um, uh, Everything about their meet cute here is just the stuff of swoons for at least 13-year-old me. Uh, yeah, she like you learn exactly who these two people are and who they're going to be together in this moment. And I think it's an absolutely beautiful song. It's fun, it's sexy, it's yeah, it has just everything to grow without all the sad that's coming. Without all the sad that's coming. So I don't know. We have a lot of bummers, and this one to me is not a bummer, and I've always loved it. But I understand why I'll Cover You is probably going to go forward.
I think it's the sweetest song that happens when someone is singing in front of a packet of lost heroin. I'll give you that.
That's what it's, yeah, drugs
Yeah.
will keep us together. Isn't that song?
Captain and
Drugs,
Tennille,
keep
ladies
us
and gentlemen.
drugs
Yeah.
will keep us together. Yeah.
My friend Curtis, is it going to be I'll Cover You or Light My Candle?
It's I'll Cover You, which is the other meet cute song, right?
Yes.
Kind of ish. Or at least more of like a falling in love. So I'm gonna go with that.
Bob, I'll Cover You or Light My Candle?
I don't remember what I originally voted for. I think I'll Cover You.
That would be the 2-seed, and Light My Candle is the 3. So even if you did vote for Light My Candle, 2-seed I'll Cover You would continue into round 2. So just
Gotcha.
FYI. But thank you very much, Joelle. That is the end of round 1. We're going to take a quick break to return a call from Alexi Darling. Kerching, kerching. We'll be right back. Hey, pop culture squirrel friends. Are you gagging for all the tea, but missed the latest episode of your favorite show? Don't fret, darlings, because we've got you covered. Head on over to greatpopculturedebate.com for all the juicy recaps, Hanny. We're talking blow-by-blow breakdowns, shade trees full of opinions, and enough pop culture realness to fill a library. So if you want to stay in the loop, and honey, you do, then sashay over to greatpopculturedebate.com/recaps. Because if you can't love yourself, how in the hell you gonna love somebody else's recap? Can I get an amen? And we're back for round 2 of our best Rent song debate. Before we get into the Elite 8, I'd like my pals to share the first time they saw Rent. Bob Erlenbach.
The first time I actually saw the musical Rent was I was actually a senior in college. I hadn't actually gotten a chance to see the show until I was the senior in college, and it blew my mind. I was like, oh, I didn't know theater could be like this. I mean, I loved Les Mis up until that point, and I still love Les Mis. It is still very tops my list, but this is also up there too because it was so unique and different from what I had ever experienced before. I'm just like, wow, this is incredible. And I know people are having that, like we already said, in the Heights and Hamilton. Those other shows are obviously people having that same experience today, but that was the experience I was having in, what would that have been, 2001? I just aged myself, everybody.
Yeah, you would have been a senior in college in 2001, so yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really, it's all right there. It's the depravity, the
Why am I
peeing in
so
the
funny to you
No,
streets.
this evening?
no. Curtis made a face, which tells me that the age difference is vast.
Not fast, just significant. We'll put it that way. Speaking of the Lady Creekmore, when is the first time you remember seeing Rent?
This lady is not for turning. I was probably around a freshman or a sophomore in college, which was like 2005 or 2006. Yeah, so that's when Bob said he was a senior in 2001. I was a freshman in high school in 2001. So that's what that shocked look was. We had talked during the
Warm up?
Patreon kickoff about the hatred of the movie. And I think now is a good time to talk about
Yes,
that. I
yes.
really enjoy the movie. I think that it is an interesting way to bring this to life. I like the music that they included. I do not understand your raw, unadulterated hatred for it. So I would love to hear from especially both Bob and Joelle, who are vicious, just viciously went after it. Why do you hate it so much?
I think there's something about the stage production of this that is most important to the show. And I don't the stripped down stage, the imagining the city around you, actually putting it in the actual setting actually took me out of it a little bit. It becomes too literal in that regard. And that's just from the medium alone. So that's the first knock I have against it. I don't care for the performances as much because it is the original cast.
They were 10
obviously.
years older at that
mostly.
point.
They were 10 years
Yeah.
older. And
It was a
obviously
little Evan Hansen-y, yeah.
It was mortgage, not rent. That's what it
Yeah.
was.
and I
Baby,
think
it was
that,
still rent. They can't
It's
afford a
daycare
mortgage.
or and not
I
rent.
think there are parts of it that are taken so literally and so literally translated to the screen that it kind of removes some of the imagination and some of what you can take away otherwise, because it's basically telling you versus letting you kind of fill in the blanks yourself mentally. That's really why I just don't think it's made for a movie.
Chris Columbus being literal?
Christopher Columbus, let's not get into it.
I'm shocked.
From Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone to this.
From Home Alone to this.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, really, the tenement that they live in is very much like the one from Home Alone 2. If Kevin McAllister was like setting up fire traps.
It did look like the same damn street, didn't it? Yeah.
It did. That being said, if you love the Rent movie, Curtis Creekmore, you found your soulmate, your twin flame. Here it is. So congratulations.
What I will say is on Spotify, I was looking for the popularity of each song, and I went to the original Broadway recording, and the most listened to song was like 6 million, 8 million, and I was like, what? And then I went to the motion picture soundtrack, and we're talking like 50 million, 60 million. So that sucks.
It does,
It
but
made it more accessible.
I was
Right.
going to say that
It did.
to the movie's credit, it took a movie, like if you weren't on Broadway or going to one of the tours, you weren't seeing this work, and the movie allowed people in Peoria, drag Peoria, but to see this movie, which is an important story, and so I'm glad for that. So all the hate it gets, it did do that. That's a great
Yeah,
point, Curtis, so
fair.
thank you. Joelle, do you remember the first time you saw Rent?
Yeah, I will start this by saying in 1997, I had not seen Rent yet, but we all knew it, and we all were listening to the CD. And in my freshman year in high school, aging myself, they took us to see La Boheme, the opera, at
the
like
Met?
the local theater.
Oh.
No, just in town. And it was a beautiful production, and they let us ask questions at the end, and every damn kid in my class was like, so is that the part in Rent when And to their credit, they answered all of our questions because we were just 14-year-old kids and just only had so much context to what we just watched. But then finally in 2001, I saw it when I was in my freshman year in college, so same as the rest of you, I think, or so close. And yeah, it was great. I don't think any member of the original cast was there, and it was still great.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, it would have been on the stage for 5 years, so I wouldn't
Yeah.
expect any of them to be on. I honestly don't remember the first time I saw it live. It must have been on a tour, I would assume. But I will say I did see an NYU student production of Rent in 2024, and it was dreadful. It was I
Ooh.
grabbed my partner's hand when it started. I was just like, "Oh god, this is gonna be rough." And it was so much worse than I thought. Like I thought, you can't make this show bad. And you know what? They sure gave it a good try. They sure did. So with that being said, the best place to follow us is on Blue Sky at gpcd.bsky.social or at Great Pop Culture Debate on Instagram or TikTok. You should also make sure to subscribe to our page on YouTube where we're posting original video content. Yes, we really are doing it now. But what you really need to do is sign up for our weekly newsletter. It's new every Tuesday at noon, and it tells you about everything coming out in pop culture that week. Sign up by finding the link on this episode at greatpopculturedebate.com or via our link tree on any of our social media accounts. Now, let's get into round two, so I can model the latest fall fashions from Paris while accompanying myself on the 10-gallon pickle tub. First up, the bulk of the panel wants to keep breaking it down at the Life Cafe with 1-seed La Vie Boheme. But do you know how lucky I'll be if I can push through 2-seed Out Tonight? Bob, tell us why Bohemia may be dead, but La Vie Boheme will live on forever. I will get online with the feline as I put Mimi and I first with Out Tonight. So, as longtime listeners of this program know, I love a song about a sex worker. And Out Tonight is at least adjacent to that because Mimi is a sex worker, although this song is not explicitly about her doing sex work. It's about this 19-year-old woman. By the way, she's 19 in this show, which is a little fucked up, desperate to get out into the New York City nightlife, the city of neon and chrome, the only place she feels free and alive. It's so evocative, it's so free, it's so wild, even as Mimi is ultimately singing about escaping her pain. Curtis did a great job talking about this in round one, so I'm not going to go crazy on it, but this is a young woman who knows quite well that she has a ticking time bomb inside of her. I love it. I know Daphne Rubin Vega's voice is polarizing, but I think it is absolutely perfect for this role, and especially in this song. She's simultaneously euphoric, desperate, and bursting with sexual energy. That is so hard to pull off, but my God, does she do it. That being said, Bob, talk to us about La Vie Boheme.
To sodomies between God and me, that's poetry.
Yeah.
So I just,
And hey,
I
mister,
don't,
she's
I
my
just don't
sister.
see the comparison.
We're close.
So, our co-panelists can also say some things too when it comes to this one too, if they're still going to continue to vote for it. But this is an ensemble number, and it is the end of Act One, and it is every character having a moment and having a different story and having a different part of this song, but all together as an ensemble. And it breaks down into different sections where there's different moments happening across the cafe. But it is, to me, when we talk about best Rent song, right? I made a comment earlier about, best Rent song or best song that's in Rent. This is the best Rent song because Rent is about, yes, individual characters, but really the family, the ensemble, them being together. And this song is just so much fun. There's a different section for everybody. There's a different section that you will pull out and hum in your head or say. The lyrics are so much fun. Again, I mentioned to sodomies between God and me, to S&M, waiter, waiter, waiter. So those are some of the reasons I think I'm pushing that forward at this point. So
Joelle, is it going to be La Vie Boheme or is it going to be Out Tonight?
Oh, it's going to be La Vie Boheme. I hesitate to make the comparison that this might be the dish piss of Rent.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
yeah.
If what was the song that we said was the
Christmas
One Day
Bells
More
was what we were saying.
yeah,
One Day
yeah.
More.
So I
Although
think this is the dish piss.
it could also
So.
be Another Day. Could be the One Day More. There's so many options, really.
Yeah.
Curtis,
Do you hear people sing, everybody?
Right, I was going to say, for the people that haven't listened to the Les Mis
Yeah,
episode.
sorry, dish piss.
Dish piss was, do you hear the people sing? I'm also going to go with La Vie Boheme. La Vie Boheme is the better song.
All right, so we will be moving La Vie Boheme into round two. Next, the panel is split between 1-seed Rent and 2-seed What You Own. Curtis, burn posters, screenplays, and anything else you can get your hand on as you try to light a fire for Rent. Joelle, you remember what it was like living in America at the end of the millennium, and you know why What You Own should advance. Curtis, please go first.
So Eric mentioned earlier that Rent is an amazing way to really open the show, even though it's not the first song. It is the true open of this show. It's the ultimate high energy kickoff to a show that is wrought with tragic storylines. It's also a really powerful way to put the entire show into perspective. The lives we live, the time we share, all of it is fleeting. We own nothing. Everything is rent. What You Own is actually one of my go-to karaoke duets, if I can find someone to perform it with me. It's also a funny coincidence that a song about not owning anything is paired against a song about
I was
what you
thinking
own.
that. Yeah.
Yep.
But in reviewing the lyrics of YO, WYO, What You Own, they don't really have as much meaning. The majority of the song is a complaint about living in a capitalistic society where you
Yes.
aren't allowed to be yourself if you want to survive.
Yep.
Toe the line, slap on a smile, and cash your paycheck. And while that still absolutely rings just as true at the beginning of the millennium as it does at the end of the millennium, lyrically and musically, and in terms of the show, I think Rent is just a stronger song.
Joelle, talk to us about What You Own.
I feel like Curtis has already made all the comparisons to the two songs. I don't have a ton more to add. I think the fact that this song, What You Own, captures the like American ideal of the show. The fact that this is that perspective, no matter where they create it in the world, it's still telling the story of this moment in America. Obviously with lots of relatable themes worldwide, I'm sure. I think the materialism that they fear, it certainly starts at the beginning of the show with the Rent song, but I think Roger's finally figuring some stuff out by the end of the show, and this is his big like, this is why everything's terrible and I can't get anything done and I will never win. And that's a good realization for all of us as young people before we, realize permanently that that's just how it is. You got to learn at some point. So Rent was there to teach us about capitalism at whatever early age it was delivered. So I think it's a good song. Is Rent better? Probably, but for whatever reason, I did vote for this originally.
Bob, is it going to be Rent or What You Own?
I had neither of these going forward from this
Yes.
point because my round one pick is out here.
Yep.
I mentioned at some point this evening, I'm not sure if it was during this episode or during warm up, there are so many songs in here that feel like finale songs or, end of act one songs. And What You Own is one of those, right? It comes in like the mid to beginning of, I think, act two. And it's just like so intense and so charged. It's just like, I feel like I'm about ready for another intermission afterwards.
It's the revelation. Like he figured something out. Yeah.
And I just really enjoy it. And I think that it doesn't have a lyric like rent, 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 rent. So I'm going to choose that. What You Own.
I love how much you hate rent. And because of that, I am voting for rent.
Yeah.
We're going to say, Joelle?
I was just going to say that like it has so many other lines like, Maureen, I'm not a theater person.
Yeah.
I'll never be a theater person. I don't know. It's a lot of great little quips in there.
Love both of these songs, but I do genuinely think Rent is an absolute banger, and that's why I'm giving it to Rent. It is the one seed, so it will advance here. 75% of the panel is sticking with one seed Take Me or Leave Me, but Joelle is still in hold with two seed Tango Maureen. Bob, be a snob, yet over-attentive, as you defend Take Me or Leave Me. Joelle, don't be like Maureen and cheat. She fucking cheated. But Bob, please go first.
Cunt is what I have to say about this song. Take Me or Leave Me is cunt. And I think from a casual viewer or just somebody who may not necessarily kind of key into the major themes of this show, you can key into the major themes of this song of these two individuals that are so very different and saying, take me or leave me. This is who I am. I'm not going to make apologies for it, right? And you can either take me or leave me. And it's really that kind of relationship drama that I think is so relatable to everybody, not to mention the fact that, my God, are these two women wailing and just like going for it, especially in the original cast recording. That it's just so pussy and so cunt. It's just so much fun to listen to. These two women just being so fierce with one another that I love Without You, but my God, this is just so much energy and so much fun. Like, I don't know how I could turn my back on it.
Yeah, I hear you. And I want to hear Joelle talk to me about Tango Maureen, which is like the exact opposite of that song.
Well, though both are the "Let Her Be a Lesbian" songs
Yep,
of the show.
they are. Yep.
One is early and one is late. One is, they are still, wow, her name, Joanne, is still figuring out what is wrong with Maureen at that point, whereas "Take Me or Leave Me" is like, "Oh, I figured it out, and we're just gonna have to battle to, decide how we're gonna live together or not." Um I love the song. I think it is so smartly written. Every moment is written to this tango. The sharp line delivery matches the beats and the actual movements of the tango. It's like a battle. If we're talking about like um, the Hamilton rap
Rap
battles,
battles.
whatever they're
Hmm.
yeah. It reminds me of that. They are going back and forth. They are, like, serving each other shitty comments about the person that they both theoretically love/loved, um, and they're just going around in circles because that's what Maureen does to them. So they are creating the legend of Maureen more and more and more, and this is amazing. This is an introduction to a person we still at this point haven't met, and we won't meet for another like 12 songs, I think. But already you're ready to like see this brashness come out. And yeah, and just having these people fight about her, but not for her. It's fascinating. It's just a really fascinating delivery and structure.
Curtis, is it going to be Tango Maureen or Take Me or Leave Me?
It feels kind of like a cuck song. I don't know if I can
Kind
say
of.
that.
Which also is in
Um,
line with Mark's character. That makes sense.
right.
It's
I think that's why I dislike Tango Maureen. I just wish that either of them had a stronger backbone. And that's why I like Take Me or Leave Me, because it feels like Joanne finally found her backbone and she's willing to stand up and be herself unapologetically. And this is me too. Like, yeah, you think that you're the shit and you're going to walk down the street and you're going to flirt with all the boys, but I'm my own person and I get to be me and you have to deal with that too. So I'm going to vote for that.
But don't you like your girl hot?
No,
No, he doesn't actually. That's a great point.
I
Um,
like to be a hot girl.
there we go. Hot girl, everything. Take Me or Leave Me for me. Tango Maureen is great, but Take Me or Leave Me is an anthem, and it will resonate for many, many years to come because everyone has had to deal with that at some point in their life, one way or another. So, Take Me or Leave Me advances to the final four. Finally, in round two, the panel continues to say, "How about love?" Specifically, one seed Seasons of Love. But Bob wants to give shelter to two seed I'll Cover You. Bob, give I'll Cover You a new lease on life in our bracket. Curtis, how do you measure a year? And how do you measure your appreciation for Seasons of Love? Bob, please go first.
All right, let's walk some children through nature. And I think it's important to acknowledge in the 90s, um, the inability representation and the lack of representation of queer individuals in film, stage, anything, right?
Anything.
And that to me encapsulates I'll Cover You when it comes to how important this song is to me and how important it was to see this at the time when I saw it in my development and, my coming out story, where it is two individuals so in love and being so open and so beautiful with their love on stage. And there's nothing wrong with it. And it's being represented in such a beautiful way with such a beautifully written song with such it's like metaphor from tip to tail. Like it's just every single lyric is live in my house, I'll be your shelter, right? Just slip me on, I'll be your blanket. Like these really beautiful poetic lyrics from the beginning to the end and just this celebration of the love between these two individuals, these two queer individuals. And it was just so important for me at the time that I obviously wanted to talk about it now knowing that you guys are all ganged up against me as it pertains to Seasons of Love, but I know, come for me. That's fine. I don't like it. I'm sorry. But I just wanted to speak more so about I'll Cover You because it is such a beautiful song between Collins and Angel.
So I see Joelle saying, no, 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 no.
Yeah,
Joelle,
yeah.
what do you want to say?
Yeah, I like upon reflection of my very favorite song from the show, like it is a tonal like separation. It is something different. It is like a palate cleanser. Um it's my favorite song, but is it the best song from Rent? And as I look at the other three that are left in the bracket now, it doesn't compete, frankly. Like it is on its own. It is its own awesome pop song that I will love
Seasons of
forever.
Love, you're
Seasons of
talking
Love.
about?
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. And I'll Cover You. It does reflect a moment that, is otherwise no longer represented in the bracket, and an incredible, like one of the most important relationships from the show, one of the least toxic relationships from the show. Um and I fully support it going forward over Seasons of
Cool.
Love.
So you're potentially switching your vote to I'll Cover You.
I think I am. Yeah.
Curtis.
I ain't. Should I give my...
Yes, please. Let's talk
Okay.
about it.
So my husband may be upset about this because I'll Cover You is one of the first duets that he and I ever performed together at karaoke back in 2015 or something. But I'm still voting for Seasons of Love. I mentioned earlier that Rent is like the true kickoff of the show, but Rent wouldn't be Rent without Seasons of Love to me. It is hard to describe how something can be so standalone and non sequitur while also being the tie that binds the entire story together. It tells us this is what the show is about in 3 minutes. I have more if I need to give it, but I think Seasons of Love should move forward.
So I'm going to be honest, Bob. You had me there. You genuinely did, and it's funny because when we were in the warm up, Curtis said that the reprise to "I'll Cover You" is actually his favorite song in the entire show. Um, I think it's a very important part, and we also talked about this, that there seems to be a cultural idea that Rent is stuck in the '90s, and it doesn't really have anything new to offer society. But that was not true of the time that it existed. There was not this representation. Anyone who's saying something like that needs to genuinely check their privilege, because the four people on this episode can tell you we are from a place that was not that long ago in which representation like this did not exist. So, like, don't be like, oh, I've heard it all before. Okay, cool story, bro. But a lot of people hadn't, and a lot of people might not be hearing it in the future. So just check that. But I do think that Curtis won me back in his argument that, yes, Seasons of Love feels totally different from everything else in the show, but it is still of the show. And the point, I mean, there's multiple points of the show, I guess, but community and taking care of one another is what the show is about, and that is what Seasons of Love is. And so for that reason, I'm just going to stick with Season of Love. It's a 1 seed. I'll Cover You as a 2 seed. And so while Seasons of Love will move into the final 4, but great job arguing I'll Cover You. And with that, we have our final 4. We're going to take a break to reprogram the MIT virtual reality equipment with actual reality. Act up. Fight AIDS. No, seriously, fight AIDS. We'll be right back.
Want even more great pop culture debate in your life? We're talking behind-the-scenes shenanigans, hot takes fresh off the press, and all the pop culture goodness you can handle? Then you absolutely must follow us on social media. Get your daily dose of debates, polls, and hilarious commentary on all the latest trends. We're on Instagram and TikTok at Great Pop Culture Debate, and we've joined the Blue Sky Revolution at gpcd.bsky.social for even more in-depth discussions. So, whether you're team hashtag pineapple on pizza or team hashtag Die Hard is a Christmas movie, join the conversation. Follow the Great Pop Culture Debate on Instagram and Blue Sky and TikTok and all our other socials too, because the debate never sleeps.
And we are back with the final 4 of our best Rent song debate. At this point in the show, I like to take a step back and see if it shook out the way I expected it to. We do have all 4 1 seeds: La Vie Boheme versus Rent, Take Me or Leave Me versus Seasons of Love. I have to say, I think it could have gone any number of ways here. I think I'll Cover You certainly could have made it to the final 4. I think Out Tonight could have made it to the final 4. Another Day, maybe. There's so many great songs in this show. And like 30 years, what an incredible run this piece of art has, and hopefully will continue to have. All right, La Vie Boheme versus Rent. I want to start at the back of the pack with Joe. Where are you going on this one?
It's La Vie Boheme for me. I think if there is the one song to represent this show, that is the visual in my head. That is them stomping her across the table, the chaos at the restaurant. Everyone has a weird, silly line. So, yeah, no, it's La Vie Boheme.
Excellent. Curtis, is it going to be La Vie Boheme or Rent?
LVB for me.
LVB.
LVP, it's an A at the end,
I
too. Yeah.
I love it. I love it as a song. I love it as a number. I think it was Bob was talking about it earlier, how like this is the moment where everybody gets to have their moment, and I love that the way that the film did that. I enjoy Rent. I think it's a great opening. This is one of the best Act 1 closers of any musical.
All right. Bob, is it LVB or Rent?
Curtis said it. It's LVP.
All right. I'll make it a clean sweep for La Vie Boheme. Rent is great. Opens the show in an amazing way. La Vie Boheme ends Act 1 in an absolutely perfect explosion of creative queer joy. And that's
Rent,
exactly
rent,
what-
rent, rent, rent.
Oh my God, it's finally gone, Bob. You can stop.
Everything is Rent.
All right. Next, it's Take Me or Leave Me versus Seasons of Love. I'll start at the top of the pack with Curtis. What are you going to go with?
I think the one major thing that the movie got right was shifting Seasons of Love to the opening credits. Larson wrote basically 3 opening numbers. He had Rent, he had Seasons of Love, and then the thing that it actually started with the
7 opening numbers. All right.
Yeah, there's so
Everything.
much.
They're all
But I
opening
think-
numbers.
Seasons of Love is the correct opening number. While the movie doesn't focus as much on the seasons of the year in the same way that the stage show does, marking the passage of time through the holidays and events that bring us together is one of the ways that the show demonstrates how time impacts relationships. And it reminds us to live each day to its fullest. Seasons of Love is the perfect encapsulation of every lesson that we learn in Rent. Love and loss, forgiveness and grief, and the power of the chosen family, all wrapped up in a sonically stunning, balanced, and most memorable number. I'm voting for Seasons of Love.
I'm going to go to Joelle. Is it going to be Seasons of Love or Take Me or Leave Me?
I think it's Seasons of Love. I think when I need like something to represent the show, that's something that is the best of the show, in the same way La Vie Boheme is also one of the best of the show. I think the anthem, represents it the best, and it represents the 90s, it represents the vibe of the show.
Okay. Bob, I have a feeling I know where you're going here.
A tiger in a cage can never see the sun. That's what I have to say. I will at this point in the bracket agree with you that Take Me or Leave Me is very representative of these 2 individual characters within the show. It does not really tie together or weave together a full, encapsulation of the other program, or of the entire program, excuse me. But I beg of you, listeners, if you haven't heard this song, Take Me or Leave Me, you must.
I'll make it a clean sweep for Seasons of Love. And one last thing for Take Me or Leave Me, a lovable drunk. All right, that gives us the final 2 of La Vie Boheme and Seasons of Love. It was probably always coming to this. I want to start smack in the middle with Curtis Creekmore. Where are you going?
I convinced myself in my last argument that the best song that is most representative of this entire show, that is beautiful and stunning, and the high C, which I can hit on a good day, I'm giving it to Seasons of Love.
All right.
As in
Bob.
measure your life in law.
What?
Uh-huh.
It's a high C, and I can squeak it out on a good day.
Love it. Bob, is it going to be La Vie Boheme or Seasons of Love?
I didn't share a ton of my rubric throughout this conversation today, a little bit here and there, right? And to me, the character moments, the characters, the individual stories are incredibly important to this as a whole. And I don't disagree with anything that Curtis just said with regards to it being just a thematic representation of the show, but I think that it's La Vie Boheme is just so incredible in how it gives each of these individual characters or couples their opportunity to really have a moment, to really tell us where they are, what's happening with them. It really helps push forward. I mean, it thematically about, the whole program. It's all there with regards to with Benny and these folks that are in the Life Cafe with them, that it is us versus them between, the corporate suits and these bohemians, right? In this cafe. It's all there. And it is so much fun as a number. It is so much fun to bop your head along, but also to sing along, right? When you're in your car, the lyrics, the tongue twisters that are within this, it's just, to me, I think they're both great songs from this show, but I think La Vie Boheme is the one that really puts us there in the action with the characters, helps us feel what they're feeling, and puts us in the moment with them. And I think that's really important to this show. And that's why I think it's important for it to go forward as the winner.
La Vie Boheme. No.
Her.
La Vie Boheme.
Joelle, is it going to be La Vie Boheme or is it going to be Seasons of Love?
La Vie Boheme is an epic of a song. It is 8 minutes of absolute joy, chaos, rocking out nonsense and listing random shit.
Pablo Neruda.
I love listing random shit. I just mentioned We Didn't Start the Fire. Any song that has like just pop culture references just feeds my soul. It's the reason I love Gilmore Girls. It's like the same. It fills the same part of my heart, and it's to Bob's point, like it is representative of the whole show and the whole experience. Whereas Seasons of Love has a vibe that matches, and certainly the song fits beautifully amongst the songs. La Vie Boheme is kind of the show. It's like the soul of the show. So it's my vote.
So I vote for Seasons of Love here. I think La Vie Boheme is the party song. It's like everybody's having a great time, but I think the actual like summation of the entire story is much closer to Seasons of Love. Like La Vie Boheme is a snapshot of like, hey, things are going great, and then everything else is like, oh my God, we're all dying. And I think that is also very thematically linked to the original La Boheme, right? So, fun fact, the number one vote getter for this entire bracket was La Vie Boheme, not Seasons of Love. Seasons of Love, I don't remember how far down it was, but
it was
leave
the
out.
third.
It's the third, not even the
overall.
second.
Not even the second. Given that, I think I normally do not do seeds, but what you're going to say, Curtis?
I feel totally comfortable with La Vie Boheme winning.
I'm fine with it as well. So I think from an overall arcing standpoint, Seasons of Love is the better song. But in terms of the best song for Rent, there you have it, folks. Our pick is La Vie Boheme. Do you agree? Do you think we should be evicted by Benny and his corpo scumbags? Tell us how you really feel by leaving a comment on this episode at greatpopculturedebate.com or find us on Blue Sky or Instagram. While you're there, make sure you subscribe and follow the podcast so you can hear what new debates are coming soon, vote in open polls, and even decide which topics we tackle next. I want to say thank you to my panel. It's wine, beer, tofu platters, and pasta with meatless balls tonight.
Ew.
And thank you. They taste the same.
If you close
your eyes.
Thank
With
you.
13 orders of fries. Is that it here? Sorry.
Wine and beer.
Thank you for listening. If you love what you heard, please consider supporting us on Patreon, where you can get even more exclusive content and you get episodes a whole day early. We hope you have a good one. And remember, everyone is entitled to their wrong opinion. Now, moo with me. Moo with me.
Moo.